Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a really simple thank you card for teachers. As always, this card design I show you might look complicated, but I promise it's not. I'm going to break it down for you. Anyone can do this, no art experience required. I'm going to be doing this with watercolors, but you can also do this with pens or markers, whatever you have. Okay, so for materials for this one, I have cut a piece of watercolor paper into the shape of the card I'm going to want. Like I'm going to fold it this way afterwards. I just would prefer not to fold it while I'm painting it. So I've cut this out of Strathmore watercolor paper, and it doesn't have to be Strathmore. It can be any watercolor paper you want. I just find cold press is ideal for watercolor painting as opposed to hot press. So I have my watercolor paper. Then I'm using Ecoline liquid watercolor paints. These are just like a really nice vibrant watercolor paint. I have the color 602 and 318 here, but I've mixed them together a little bit in here to mute the colors a tiny bit. These are super vibrant, so mixing a little into each kind of tones them down a little bit. So I've done that, and then I have my brush. This is Princeton Snap size 10. Can be whatever you want, does not have to be this exact brush. I have some water, and then at the end I'm going to use a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, a size 1 Micron pen, and a size 0.5 Micron pen. I'm actually not entirely sure which of these I'm going to use yet, but these are kind of a good go-to package for writing a greeting on a greeting card. And last but not least, I have some washi tape to tape down my card. So like I said, first things first, I'm going to tape this down. And I like to kind of be mindful of my borders, trying to keep them fairly even on each side, because sometimes I paint right to the margin of the card, and then when you take the tape off, you kind of want those to run nice and straight-ish. I'm not a perfectionist about this by any means, but just something to think about. Now I'm going to take my paint and my water and my brush, and I'm literally just going to start painting apples on here. So I'm going to paint the apples in red, and then I'm going to add some green stems to them, and I'm basically just going to fill up this card. That's kind of the goal. It's very, very simple. It does not have to be fancy. You don't have to paint perfect apples. I really just kind of do apples in like a blob shape that's kind of rounded at some point on the top, kind of like an uneven heart. Apples are never perfect, so there we go. There's our first apple. I know it might not look like an apple right now. And then I also like to do them kind of coming off the page. So this one I think will be just showing the bottom of the apple. So it looks like it's running off the page. Same thing over here. I'm going to paint this one to be running off the side. And I also like to overlap the apples, so maybe I'll have one overlapping here. Tap a little more paint into there if you want to. And I'm really just going to do this on the whole page, so just tossing in these misshapen apples. You can do some taller, you can do some shorter, some rounder, some, what's the opposite of rounder? Less round? Someone tell me that word in the comments, please. But yeah, they really just do not have to be perfect at all. I find the faster and the less you pay attention here, the better it actually turns out, because it'll look like you weren't trying to make a perfect apple shape. And there we go. That's step one. Literally just fill it up with apples. And next, I'm going to take the same brush, I'm going to wash all the red off of it, and I'm going to dip into my green, kind of just the tip of the brush, and I'm going to paint these little stems and leaves. Trying not to touch it to the red, because if you know anything about watercolor, you know that while they're still wet, they will bleed together. And I don't necessarily think I want that effect for this card. A lot of the time I do love that effect, but for this one, not so much. I think if it had any green bleeding into it, it wouldn't really look like an apple, because usually the leaves don't bleed too much into the actual apple in real life. Okay, now we've got my most favorite step, which is peeling off the washi tape. I just find it so satisfying when it doesn't bleed through. However, I can see that down here, my tape lifted a bit and it did bleed through. And that's because off camera you didn't see, but I used a heat gun to speed up my drying process, and so the tape lifted a bit and the watercolor bled through, which is fine because I am going to cut off these margins anyway. I like the way that my cards look when the paint goes right to the edges, so I'm gonna just cut off. Okay, and now I have the entire outer surface of my card made. Before I fold it, I'm gonna take my size 1 Micron pen, and this is the best part, in my opinion. Well, I said the unfolding the tape was the best part, but this is my favorite part, I think. So what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna draw an offset outline on these, which means I'm not drawing right around the edge of the apple. I'm drawing like a little bit to the inside or a little bit to the outside. And I just find it looks really cute. And I'm gonna do the same on the leaves. And I'm gonna do that for every card, every apple on this card. I find it just makes it look really kind of like whimsical and carefree. If you hate this, you could also just draw an outline, or you could just leave it how it was with just the paint. No outlines at all. Okay, so I've got the outside of my card all complete, and now I'm gonna fold it and I'm gonna do a little greeting on the inside. And there we go. Okay, so there's the outside of my card. Now I'm going to write something cute on the inside. I think I'm just gonna use my calligraphy pen. And if you knew the name of your teacher, you could write their name in it. You could write whatever you want. I also think it would look really cute if you wrote Mrs. whatever on the apple, or Mr. whatever on the apple. Just on, you know, kind of one that's in the middle here. But I don't know who this is gonna be for yet, so I'm just gonna do my generic thank you greeting on the inside. If you're not comfortable with doing this right away with pen, you could do it with a pencil first, but I'm just gonna hop right in. And I'm gonna use my laser square to shoot a laser line across and get this kind of centered. If you have never heard me talk about this laser before, I have a full video review on it on my channel if you want to see more about it. I know it's kind of hard to see in the video, but it shoots a nice red line across. So I'm gonna write thank you in calligraphy. Now, if you don't know how to do calligraphy, totally fine. Just write this in whatever lettering you are comfortable with. It could just be your handwriting. It could be whatever you want. But if you want to learn calligraphy, that's kind of what I do. So happy to teach you. There's lots of videos on my channel if you're interested in that. There we go. Okay. So there you have it. Super simple, completed thank you card for a teacher. Like I said, I think it would look really cute to write the teacher's name in here, Mrs. or Mr. whatever. But I think I'm gonna leave it there for this one. And you could choose to do absolutely whatever you wanted on the inside to decorate it. You could have your kids decorate it if it's for their teacher. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Super quick and easy. Does not have to be fancy, does not have to be complicated. Okay, I hope you liked it. Well, I hope your teacher likes it. They deserve it. And if you like videos like this, if you want more cards, if you want more art tutorials, really simple art, please subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every single week, and I hope to see you in the next one.